Hey everybody! It's been so long since I've made a video, and the last time you saw me on video, not in a kind of interview video, but in a video where you would see me frolicking through the woods, I was still living up on Bear Mountain and I was a country mouse, and now I am a city mouse for a period of time. So I thought I would connect again because I had a really fantastical download from the Pleiadians yesterday. And I thought it was worthy of sharing, and it's either for you or it isn't for you, but you'll find out. Anyway, so why am I a city mouse? I am a city mouse because we decided to sell our apartment on Bear Mountain and to purchase a piece of land and to build our house on it, but also a little retreat center. So we're not really quite sure how that's going to look, but I'm coming out of my solitariness. Anyway, you know what I mean. Becoming less of a hermit and wanting to do some group work or individual work in a lovely natural setting. And we're thinking that we might have a yurt or a couple of yurts and a wood-fired hot tub right next to the yurt. And that we would hold some, when I say we, I say I. That is the royal we. But anyway, I mean I. Supported by my partner. We'll hold some retreats, and he has skills as well that he could share with others, but that is to be determined, you know, what he'll be doing. Anyway, so we're in it together, one way or the other. But so getting back to the yurt. So we decided that we would buy this piece of land and we would build our home and create a retreat center, and that it would all happen very naturally and organically. But in the meantime, we're living in the city so that we can gather our resources and find the people that we would like to have on our project, people who are copacetic to our vision. The place that we bought has been logged back in 2008, and a new forest has grown up, but there's still, like, you can still feel the trauma on the land, and you can still see where the trauma is, and we would really, really love to not rehabilitate, just bring it back to some kind of frequency that it would like to reside in. So there's a lot of tree planting will be happening. We luckily don't have to cut down even one tree to put up a house or put up anything. And we can add more trees. There's room for a lot more trees. So anyway, I'm just rambling about it because I'm super excited, but there will be a video about, well, I'll take you to the land and I'll show you what's what. Anyway, last night while I was minding my own business, sleeping, which is usually how it happens, I had a fantastical communication with the Pleiadians, and that's actually what this video is about, and not about me and city mouse, country mouse. But they gave me a bit of a vision that at first I was a little bit disturbed by, and I thought, oh, that's kind of creepy, and people are, this is not a mess, I'm not making a video about this. But they were like, oh yeah, you might want to share it. So the fantastical vision that they gave me, which is the first thing that I came across before they explained anything, was images of like crumpled beings, you know, lying on the ground. So they would be like kind of lifeless, a crumpled, like almost like a, you know, sometimes you see in the movies when there's like a person, but then they leave their human coil, you know, like they leave their body, and then they're just, what's left of them is kind of like this limp suit, like human suit that they were wearing, lying on the ground. And so when I first saw that, hang on, I gotta have a cup of tea. So much talking. Anyway, so when I first saw it, I was like, well, that's just weird, you know, it's creepy, and what the heck is it? And then usually I receive the image first, and then there's like, the P's introduce themselves, even though we know each other very well. They're very polite, and they introduce themselves and they say, oh, this is what we're talking about here. And so what they were saying to me is that because so many of you have been doing such incredible work, being heart-centered and doing your own work on your own selves, coming out of the matrix of fear and confusion, that this whole frequency that you've been generating on the planet has been causing a discomfort to specific beings that have been on the planet that didn't really have, our best interest at heart. And so it's made them so uncomfortable, this frequency, that they literally have been exiting their bodies and leaving the planet and just kind of leaving their mortal coil on the ground, just laying there. And so, like, one of my first questions was, okay, so where are they? Like, where are these bodies? Like, am I going to trip over one and, on High Street in town? And they said that it's not, they're in a frequency that these bodies and these beings are within a dimension or a frequency where we wouldn't see them with our human eyes, but they're definitely there. And so when they leave their, like their humanoid or human looking bodies, and some of them actually didn't look like human bodies, like they just look like beings from other galactic spaces, that we wouldn't see them unless we were attuned to that frequency or the dimension. But like just generally walking around the planet, we're not going to see a litter of, bodies lying around with vacant human bodies. I know this is sounding really weird and really creepy, but just stay with me. So I said, okay, so how is it that we can continue this work so that more of the malevolent, and I'm not sure if I'm even saying that word right, beings can exit and return safely to their planet and continue doing whatever they would do over there, but not be in contact with us anymore, or not be part of their agenda on the planet. And generally, I'm not a person who lives in the dimension of being too concerned about what is going on behind the scenes, like which star nation or which reptilian or which but I'm forgetting the word right now, but which being that we're not interested in being in contact with, how do we work this? Like, how do we interact more from our heart center and not be concerned so much with what is going on behind the scenes? Because I find that when we're caught up in what's going on behind the scenes and thinking about, okay, who's controlling us? Or what is the agenda of these beings? Or, who's been controlling us for millennia? You can get into this whole space of not being present to your life, not being present to how you can affect change right here, right now, but you just become locked in this, other dimension. And it becomes more difficult because what can you do about it? Like, it becomes like when you're faced with war, or when you're faced with anything terrible that's happening on the planet, you're like, well, I'm little old me, what can I do? And the only thing you can ever do is just to be as much in integrity with your own human purpose as possible, and to work on yourself. And that's really the way that the Pleiadians said that we have affected this change, whereby all these beings are feeling very uncomfortable and feeling very exposed, and they're just leaving of their own accord because they don't want to participate in this frequency that we're generating that is so freaking amazing, so I'm told. So thank you for that. Thank you for being part of that process and being part of that change, and working on increasing the frequency on the planet and Gaia's frequency and the crystalline frequency so that we can keep this planet illuminated to the point where the things that really don't want to be here just can't be here, and we can just get back to the original plan. And so as you can see, or you've heard, or you're witnessing on the planet, that this last Leo season and the Lion's Gate portal that we just came through has been incredibly, incredibly fierce. And it has unleashed certain things on the planet that are difficult to absorb and difficult to witness. And, you know, if you open the news, then you'll know what I'm talking about. But locally, for us here in British Columbia, there have been something like 988 fires that have burned since April 1st. And it's been like our worst fire season ever. So the fire of Leo has been very, very present. It's present every year here in August, but this Lion's Gate and this Leo season has been especially fierce. And then, you know, of all the other things that are happening around the planet with natural disasters and war, etc., etc., and things that we don't hear about, like the things that we forget about, because we don't hear about them all the time, the things that happen on a daily basis with people that are distressing and that we sometimes forget about, are still going on. And it's really only because you have been so vigilant and so selfless and so heart-led and doing the work that has been asked of you on your own particular soul missions to bring love and compassion and empathy and understanding to this planet so that we can shift the course of humanity. And so, you know, while at the beginning I was thinking, it's just going to be such a weird thing to tell people that these beings are just literally leaving their embodiment on the planet and just kind of like leaving their skin behind, or like a snake shedding its skin. But, you know, the more I thought about it, I thought, like, we really need to know this, because we really need to know that we are doing good work, and we need to know that we are getting somewhere, and that we don't have to live in fear all the time, and we don't have to worry about what's happening behind the scenes and being really focused on that, because it's better if we're just more focused on what can I do to make a difference in the frequency. If I'm afraid and if I'm angry, then I'm not in the frequency that's creating the change. That doesn't mean that we shouldn't be in awareness, because awareness is not the same as being in fear and being in anger. Not that anger isn't justified or fear isn't justified, but like to just be in that all the time precludes us from being in the frequency that where we can affect the change. And there's a quote about that somewhere from Einstein, and I know what it is, but I can't voice it right now, so you'll have to go with what I've said so far. Anyway, so what do you think about this? I'm curious. If you could leave me a message in the comments and let me know what you think of the ones that have been leaving our planet, that have become uncomfortable. And what do you think about the work that you've been doing? Because I think it's pretty fantastic. I think it's fantastic that we have been able to affect this kind of change. And I think that if we just can stay with it, because we are going through a little bit of a dark time right now. People are definitely suffering, and it may look like, you know, when bad things are happening and terrifying things are happening to others or to us, it's very difficult to stay in a frame of mind, oh yes, we're going, you know, towards a better way of being, because it just seems rotten right now. But you have to get through the muck. Like literally, it's just like, it's like feeling your emotions and witnessing your emotions. If you're not witnessing them or feeling them or seeing it, then you can't get through it because you're blind to it. So I'm just so excited that I was able to get through the video. Thank you for listening to me and listening to the message through the Pleiadians. And thank you for the beautiful work you are doing on the planet. And we shall meet again, and with more news about this fantastic land and the things that we'll be doing there. And I thank you for your presence today and giving up of your very precious time to watch this video. And if you are watching this on YouTube, please give it a like or give it a comment or give me a subscribe. And I will see you again. Thank you so much. Mwah.